Hi, Marcel, the Wood Butcher. Uh, this is probably, you know what? We're going to go through a couple of different moves of the camera. The first one of which going to get the friggin' wire out of the way, adjust it back up. Boom, boom, boom. How we looking? Looking okay? Yeah, we're looking okay. Let me just move it. I don't care if I'm centered. I really don't. Okay. This is episode 4 or part 4 of the 7-tiered candle holder. Okay. Now, in episode 3, you saw the decision whether you want to use stacks of 3 1-inch pine or stacks of 6 pallet wood. Doesn't matter. Okay. I mentioned in episode 3 uh, the tedious process of having to put double back tape on this piece and this piece to stick them together. Well, I have done that with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and our optional 6-piece pallet wood, all double back taped together. A tedious process? Yes. But worth it in the long run? Yes. I also want you to notice that when I did tape them together, let me get these out the way, is that I paid particular attention to the grain matching, as I was saying before, matching as best as possible on each side. That's block number 2. There's block number 3. There's block number 4. There's block number 5. There's block number 6. There's block number 7. And these are taped together now. They are double back taped. On the centerpiece here, uh, this piece here, piece of double back tape on this one, and a piece of double back tape on this one, right? And are optional, the pallet wood. Now, what I decided to do with the grain on the pallet wood, remember when I was saying if you want to use what's called a chevron pattern, which is this way, that way, and then back up this way, and this and that, that's what I chose to do with the pallet wood. I hope you can see, and remember I said it only works when you have more than 3 pieces or an even amount of pieces. So this, in this case, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It works perfectly. And here's what it looks like, the chevron. You'll notice that way, that way, that way, that way, and that way. It looks kind of catchy, okay? And like I said, there's little gaps in there right now and stuff like that, and some imperfections showing on the ends, but that's why they are all double back taped together. Double back tape, and I mean the least expensive double back carpet tape that you can, carpet tape, not that crap that comes on a roll for, on scotch tape like you wrap your Christmas presents with. Double back carpet tape, the thinnest you can get, the least expensive you can get. And believe me, it holds everything together enough to run through the sander, which we're going to do right now. Okay? I'm going to move the camera, and you have to excuse my finger because I'm going to clean some sawdust off the lens. All right? There we go. Okay. And there's the sander we're going to use. Yeah, I'm going to use the bench sander that is 80 grit sandpaper on there. And I actually took my, how can I do this? Yeah, my engineering square, which is only about 4 or 5 inches long, and I mean, if you saw my video on how to make sure your squares are square, believe me, this guy is dead on balls accurate. So the first thing we're going to do, and I have a real makeshift stand here to, I don't know if it's going to work or not, but we're going to try it. And put the camera down, and focus it down. Hey, that looks like it'll work. Not bad for sitting on top of a couple of bottles of spices next to the saw, right, or the sander. Let me make sure I have it plugged in. Yipper, we got power. As I said, we're pretty darn square on that. Now keep in mind, you'll see that little gap up here, but as you push against, we're in good shape. So the table is squared to the paper, and let's start with block number 1. Okay, it's gonna get a little noisy here. So here we go. We're gonna start the end grain. Four passes across. See how nice that looks? Then we're gonna do the other end grain. Pretty darn good. Now we go side. Remember I was talking about where we put these little scribe lines there? I don't even know if you can still see the pencil line. We want to sand this till that is gone, because I can still feel it's smooth as a baby's butt here, but I can feel a little bit there. So let's take that. Still a little rough on this end, so let's run it through. Nice and smooth, nice and smooth, nice and clean. I'm gonna move the camera again. I'm gonna put it up front. Keep the wire out of the way. Hey, I'm still a one-man show. But that feels smooth to the touch on every one of these, and this is only with 80 grit. Okay, okay, feels smooth to the touch between the pieces of wood on this side, smooth to the touch at 80 grit, and smooth to the touch. Nice white wood showing. Nice white wood showing. compare that to this. That's a little off and stuff like that, right? You see the two together, okay? Now, we're going to sand these corners off and round them off, but not at this stage. Our goal at this point is to make a block. So, this one, you see how uneven it is here, but how it's even here. Right? And you see the little, the little overhang here, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to put the camera back by the sander. Excuse me. Right, yeah, on top of the fancy mount, the three spice cans or spice containers. Tilt it down a little bit. And where's the piece I was going to use? Where the hell is it? That one's done. It's this guy. It's this guy that you can see is a little off on the bottom. Here we go. Power on. Our goal is to make that little difference go away. Looks pretty darn close to me. Now we do the other side. Now the top and the bottom. Let's run our finger across. Smooth. Smooth. Hey, could use another pass. Smooth. Smooth. Could use another pass. Smooth. Smooth. Give it a pass. Notice I go against the grain on the top and then with the grain. Move the camera again. And I cannot thank you enough for the patience of me having to move the camera around because, hey, I'm a one-man show. Oh, we got to raise that a little bit. Okay. And again, smooth as a baby's butt. And we hold it up next to the other one. It's there. It's there. Okay. We proceed with that with all the rest of these blocks that are pine. Now, if you chose to use the 6-stack pallet wood, which, like I said, it's 6 pieces sanded together or taped together. And yes, the double back taping, it's a pain in the butt. But if you sanded these pieces individually, you're never going to get them to line up properly. So let's run this guy through the sander. Let me move the camera again on top of this technical. 3 bottles of spice. Yeah. And yes, I'm not kidding. It is actually 3 bottles of spice containers that I have in the shop because I'm in the process of making a spice holder. And they just happen to be the right height to hit the table, of this. Now, since we're changing woods, we want to make sure that we're still square, right? And since the paper has a flex to it, push in just a little bit at the center, and you can see we are close enough to square. We may be about 128th of an inch off, which for a piece this big isn't going to matter. Let's hone this guy down. The pallet wood, 6 stacks. Oh, take an edge, decide to make it level or square. Pretty nice to me, but I can still feel the layers. So we're going to go smooth as a baby's butt on that side. Now let's go this way. Still a little bit rough right there. Turn it over 180 degrees. Smooth as a baby's butt. And look at the grain showing up. Now let's tackle this side. This side we didn't do yet, right? No, we did that side. Let's tackle this side. You can see how uneven that is. Turn it 180. Turn it halfway. Smooth here, a little tight there. So let's a little rough here. Let's smooth as a baby's bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We got this side. We got this side left to do. Let's do it. Minimal pressure. Then flip it 180. 4 or 5 passes. It's good. Now flip it against the grain. Flip it 180. You got a little bit of roughness there. So 1, 2. Flip it 180. 1, 2. And we're good. Now let's go for the surface. Quarter turn. Looks good to me. Go for the bottom. With the grain first. Quarter turn. Oh my God, do I gotta clean sawdust off the camera? Well, my dust collection. Yeah, that's the blue shop towel cleaning it up. We're on the Soyuz, and they got a little bit of a fix up and this and that, so that the picture and the sound and everything. Hey, look at that bench. Isn't that a sloppy bench? It's nice, but look at those nice pieces of wood, all sanded and everything else. Oh, and my gut. All right. Okay, here we go. We're ready. Okay, like I said, that's the perils of a one-man show. Now, let me get the goddamn wire out of the way. And I'll put the camera back here. Let me take it right. Oh, let me go up a little bit and down. And that's kind of step 4. And like I said, these are only double back taped together. They have all kinds of sanding dust on them and things like that. But I'm quite, at 80 grit, I'm quite satisfied with where we came. The next step of sanding is going to be 120 grit, right? But all in all, I'm really happy with the finish that they came through at 80 grit. Even the extremely rough pallet wood with the, like I consider to use like serpentine wood grain, came through. Now again, you'll notice, a little space here and there, but like I said, these are just double back taped together. double back carpet tape is the woodworker's best friend. Tedious and a pain in the neck to put on, easy to take off, yeah, and sometimes it gets a little challenging, but that's the way it just is what it is. So that is partially step 4 of the taping and sanding of the blocks. If you don't have a vertical benchtop sander, you can do this with an orbital sander or a belt-driven, what the hell do they call them? They got like the 9-inch belts on them, a belt sander, whatever. But just make sure that the individual blocks end up to be where they're smooth to the touch between the layers, right? If they're a little bit off, like I said, at the 80 grit sandpaper stage, don't worry about it. If you feel like a little, I mean a little bit of a lip, run it through again till you don't feel that lip anymore. But again, if the lip is on the top or on the bottom, if it's on the bottom, rotate your piece of wood and run it through the sander to get that little lip out of the way. But again, get it as smooth as you can with 80 grit, because keep in mind, we're going to run this through again with 120 grit. Maybe even higher, depending on the type finish you want. Okay? So for right now, this is Marcel, the Wood Butcher, with step 4 of the 7-tiered candle holder, and that was putting together and sanding blocks. Okay. If you really, really want, I mean, I showed as best I could the actual sanding operation, but I wasn't going to do it with all 21 pieces or all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. If I show you on 1 or 2, you get the idea. If you have any questions, any comments, observations, suggestions, comment down below. Okay? Or email me directly at, give me a second, let me get my fancy special budget graphic up. Okay. I'm the Wood Butcher. I'm not the Wood Millionaire. And here's where I can be directed or contacted directly. There's the email address. There's the web page, which is not completely finished yet. To be honest, right now it is basically just a home page that the buttons don't work on or anything like that. Okay? And viewer donations are accepted and gifts received. I really don't want to push that. I really don't. Because, but not at this point. Not at this point. Because, hey, I do what I do out of love. I'm not asking anybody for a dime. I'm only asking for promotion and advice to make my channel better. That's all. That's it. That's it. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed episode 4. Episode 5 will be forthcoming, where we sand it to an even to 120. The only reason I didn't throw 120 sanding in here is because, to be honest with you, I got to change the sandpaper on the belt sander, or the benchtop belt sander, and it's a pain in the ass to change. So, and since I'm shooting live and don't have a second party, if I pause the video, I get forced to make a second video. And instead of tying 1 and 2 and going through this and that, now I'm actually learning how to use, beginning to learn how to use Windows Movie Maker, where I can take these clips and take that out, put this in, move this here, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, and end up being like a friggin' Cecil B. DeMille, and make some really quality videos on a no budget. Okay? My new theme song. And here's where I'm going to tell how old my viewers are. If you remember a band called The Kinks, they had a song called Low Budget. That's me. Low budget. I wish I could. I'm actually been in touch to find out if I can use that song as a theme song to open and close these videos with, without having to pay them for it, as long as I mention it's by the Kinks, 1970, whatever, album number, blah, 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 written by, blah, blah, or just whatever the legal bullshit is. I like the song. It fits. So for right now, it's Marcel, the Wood Butcher, saying, protect your eyes, protect your lungs, protect your ears, and do not forget about these guys. Is that a deal? Take care. Make it a great day, and Semper Fi for now.